See, this is kind of the thing that I was worried about when it came to Microsoft and putting their first party games elsewhere. I don't know if everybody understands exactly where I'm coming from. It's hard to kind of not come across as being like this huge jerk or asshole or whatever that just hates Xbox. And, why don't you, I get this a lot, why don't you just, switch and just be a PlayStation fan? Like, if you've noticed, in terms of what I'm doing on this channel, it's not like I'm boosting PlayStation, right? I'm not like, oh wow, PlayStation is really kicking the crap out of Xbox with this or whatever, because I feel like Sony, and I get this from some of my friends too. They're like, dude, I would just switch to PlayStation full time and, dump your Xbox or whatever, man. I've got too much content and too much time invested in Xbox to do that. At least this generation, I said it would probably be a situation where next generation would be an easy call if Microsoft still continues to port games to PlayStation. It doesn't make a lot of sense to buy both platforms if both sets of games are going to be on PlayStation. It just doesn't. I don't care about, I know I have a back catalog, but I still have an Xbox Series X, so it's not like if I really wanted to play the old games, I could always go back and play the old games through that I have. Just buy all the new stuff on, PlayStation 6 or what have you, which is a, very real possibility in something that I would love to kind of do. But you see this, and you see that, I did a video not too long ago about Sea of Thieves. Like, that's the real barometer for Microsoft on whether or not games are going to end up on PlayStation as well, later on down the line. I think that's something that us as fans have to kind of look at and go, okay, well, we're in this weird situation where, Microsoft is trying to make some money. They're trying to do this, they're trying to do that. And I understand that, but here's my gripe about it. You have Xbox, which is like the richest company in the world, Microsoft, and they put stuff like Pentiment, Hi-Fi Rush, Grounded. These games, as Dust Falls, were never going to be like big sellers for Xbox anywhere else. Like, they're just not. They're not system sellers for Xbox. They're not system sellers for PlayStation. They're not system sellers for Nintendo. They're not things that people are like, oh my god, I got to get that game. I think Hi-Fi Rush is amazing, but it's a very niche game. So now you have this situation where you have these sites like this one that I'm going to link. They're like, here's exclusives that need to come to PlayStation, and it's like goes through these lists of games, and I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, man, are you guys crazy? Like, stop begging for the games. Like, for so long, PlayStation fans made fun of Xbox, They make fun of Xbox for having, games that suck or that, whatever. Just games that nobody wanted to play. And now it's like you have every other site sort of begging Microsoft to bring the games over. And it's like, man, just let Xbox have some exclusives. Like, sheesh. Do you guys not understand? Microsoft owns some of the biggest IP in the world that were already multiplat. Fallout 76, Elder Scrolls Online, Call of Duty, Warzone. That's huge, right? It's like one of the most played games, right? Call of Duty Mobile, Candy Crush, World of Warcraft, Overwatch, Minecraft, the best-selling game of all time. These are all multiplats selling everywhere, making a ton of money for Microsoft, but yet, hey, let's put Pentiment on PlayStation to keep the lights on, right? Like, that never made sense to me. It was always a bunk argument, and, we know that more were being planned for that. Like, let's not be silly about it. We knew that more are planned for it and will probably come. It's pretty ridiculous, in my opinion, that we have to worry about that, or that Phil Spencer, who knew that fans didn't want that, and yet still agreed to have it. Like, that's my biggest problem. So, you have this, and they're like, okay, we'll put Microsoft Flight Simulator on there. I think that's one that probably people would be like, yeah, okay, I don't care about that, right? But the rest of this list, Forza Horizon 5, are you kidding me? The Forza Horizon games carried the Xbox One that entire generation. Those are the only thing that Microsoft has that is consistently great. So, hey, yeah, let's put that on PlayStation. Get out of here. Halo the Master Chief Collection. Listen, Halo is Xbox. Xbox is Halo. The other week, Microsoft finally did a commercial or did some advertising for Xbox Series X, and it had Master Chief and Halo on there, right? Like, they're one and the same. You cannot put Halo on a PlayStation. It doesn't work, It just doesn't. The Ori games, like, personally, I don't give a crap about the Ori games either, but it's like, still, these are some great received games. They were already on the Switch, so I think that's probably why people wouldn't really care as much. I'm not saying like Microsoft couldn't be sneaky. They could be super sneaky with Flight Sim and like the Ori games, and people would go, because right now people still argue with me. They go, oh, well, it's 5 low rent games or whatever. Who cares, right? Like, and then, if they were putting the Ori games, well, that's just 2 games. They're old, and, they were already on Nintendo, and they would make excuses for it. Same thing with Flight Simulator. Oh, who cares? It's just Flight Simulator. And then the number 1 on this list is Sunset Overdrive, which, is one of my favorite games. It's just one of those things that honestly, I look at it and I go, this game deserves so much better. It was getting crucified at the time due to the fact that, it was only 900p and 30 frames. It wouldn't have done any better than that on PlayStation, I mean, I think Sony could probably bring that to PlayStation if they wanted. I don't really think Microsoft has any say. It's not a first-party game, but I think they might have publishing rights or something, but they would most likely just give those to PlayStation. So I don't know, I guess we'll have to see what happens in the future. But, again, when I'm looking at this stuff and I'm going, oh, hey, let's try and see if Microsoft can kind of do something with the console. Like, to me, that's the thing that they need to work on the most is, hey, let's get our console out there trying to sell things. And instead, you got all these sites begging for games. I kind of have this little joke on whenever Sarah Bond tweets something out, I'll tweet under it, hey, keep Xbox games exclusive. Every time you guys put stuff over there, Sony makes money. Buy more exclusives to keep off of Xbox. It's like this vicious cycle. And, it sucks just as a fan. I'm not going to lie and pretend like it doesn't suck, because it really does. It's just horrible as a fan to see that and not know what games are going to stay, not know what games are going to go. It's really a tough situation. And, just as a fan, I hate it. It's just really not fun to sit there and go, okay, well, our games are going kind of everywhere, and, it just kind of is what it is. So I hope Microsoft understands that and kind of fixes that. We deserve better as fans, and I hope that fans kind of can come together and, kind of understand where I'm coming from with this. It's a frustrating and annoying, right? You might go, oh, well, who cares who else gets to play the game? Well, if you had a big game collection and, Xbox starts selling bad enough, it won't be long before they pull the plug. So, I know people don't believe that, but it's 100% true. So, anyway, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.